Dark Crisis World Without a Justice League, Green Lantern issue 1, Philip K. Johnson writing with Fernando Blanco on the art. This is the John Stewart focused story of
Yeah.
these ones.
So, based off of the last one, which was not terrible, but also, not for me, not worth the cover price. Like these might just be fun in a trade one day. I got sucked in by the creative team, and
Yeah, because
I'm glad I did.
I'd kind of written these off, and you said you were definitely reading this one because of the team, and I checked what the team was, and I was like, okay, sure, I'll read it, fine.
Yeah.
But I did leave it till last, and kind of the way where if I was running out of time, I might have cut it. But
yeah,
I did get it in, and I'm still kind of mixed on it in the sense that I think it's well written. I think the art's good, and I think what it's saying about John is interesting, and that his fantasy is that he is actually retired from the Corps, and he's brought his sister back to life, in a sense, and is living the quiet life, but he's kind of revered as the guy who saved everything and helped build what the Corps currently is.
Yeah, it's a world that doesn't need him, right? Like he's able to go do what he wants and be there for his family instead of gallivanting across the galaxy. And I really did like that sentiment because that was so on the same lines of what I like in Action Comics that Johnson's doing, of telling the story of Superman and why he is needed, in a world like War World and what his presence does there. And here it's similar, whereas Stewart's done everything he can. Now he gets to go be quiet until he is needed eventually. Which is really nice.
I still kind of was left at the end with kind of a feeling of like that was a tie-in. That was something that I didn't need. It didn't feel required in any way, shape, or form, and it's kind of a hard line to cross over into. This felt, even if it's not essential to understand the plot of the main story, obviously, but essential in the sense that I feel like I was so worthwhile and I had so much to what was going on that I am glad I read it. I'm kind of not quite reaching that line, so I'm a little like, it's solid, but at the same time I'm not sure I felt like I needed it either. So it's kind of in a weird place.
I like these type of Green Lantern stories that talk about ideas over, so the last one that this reminded me of was the God of Light Darkseid War tie-in. That was Tom King and Doc Shaner, which is like one of my favorite single issues of all time. And this doesn't hit that levels, but just the whole concept of this guy that's so duty bound that, what does he want in life? And that's to, not have those duties calling to him and him be at peace with that. It's really nice.
There's one moment early on that I did quite like when so it's his mother's explained to his little sister kind of what John does and stuff, but it's when she's explaining that unlike all the other Green Lanterns, he was always kind of like, without knowing what it was, he was always kind of searching for that because he always wanted something that would help him build. He really kind of focuses on his engineering and architecture kind of skills, which I appreciate. I like where that's brought into it a little bit over just the guilt of the planet, because
which I'm relieved this wasn't that, because Zhanshi is not brought up once.
No, and we were joking last month that was probably what it was going to be. It was just that. Yeah,
so I was relieved, and then how he reforms the Corps. So in this story, he's on Earth, and that there's a battle for Oa, that the Guardians got killed, and he kind of rebuilds the Corps, and calls them the Watchtower.
Yeah.
And he becomes the new Guardian, and he is kind of like willpower personified. And so through that, the Corps kind of runs through him, and he's almost kind of like a legend, like almost like a breaking case of emergency. And so whatever these things that attacked before, what are they called? The Bright Revenant, something like that.
Yeah.
That they're overwhelming the Corps, and so they send out a distress call, and they bring him back in, and now he comes in as the Guardian. But he also reminded me of Steel a lot there, just because of the way the suit is with the cape, and he has a sword.
He also these villains are essentially Black Lanterns. Because he's at one point to say, "Oh, we've lost like 1,000 Green Lanterns," and he's like, "We'll get them all back." And I'm like, "What do you mean get them all back?" And then the next page, I saw that there's kind of like like a Black Lantern quality to like how it's like controlling all these like Thanagarians and stuff.
Yeah.
That said, it's like an Omega symbol that's on the big, because it's like a baby with bat wings is the best way to describe this central villain.
It's dark too, which ties to the central themes of Dark Crisis, right?
Yeah.
Because remembering how in the main book in what is it, Dark Crisis on Infinite Earths now, they went through a Black Lantern, right, through the Black Lantern to Pariah's realm, to where Hal got sucked into this world, so it's just there's a lot of overlap there with the whole idea of the darkness and that being the overall threat that John's keeping at bay. So I do like the incidental ties there.
Yeah, and there's some nice art as he like fires through this baby bat thing, and the Green Lanterns all cheer and say "Hail, John Stewart," which feels a little bit. I know he didn't design this world, but it was designed for him, and he feels a bit egotistical. He's like, his dream is that all the Green Lanterns like, "Hail, John Stewart, you're my favorite." Right.
Which, and again, maybe when Hal shows up, that's a thing that breaks it for him. Like, he always kind of knew it was off because of that. But yeah, I do enjoy the Black Mercy-esque qualities of these realms, especially for Superman. More so in the mains than the backups, because the backups seem tangential at best, whereas I just feel those are like one shots that are barely. Because like the Aquaman one was kind of just like a what if Aquaman was happy. Yeah, we'll talk about Hot Girl in a minute, but both the Superman and the John Stewart ones were very like Black Mercy, give the hero what they want to keep them at peace, so they're not interrupting.
Yeah, I think it's just a simple case of the backups only get like 8 pages to do what they're doing, and therefore there's not enough time. I do think the Hot Girl one does kind of at least establish like, okay, this is what she kind of wants, and secretly, and it does establish that by the end of it. Yeah.
Definitely.
There's not really much to the plot per se of this. It's just kind of like, I guess a distressed colleague goes out, he helps him fight, he wins, comes back. That's it. It's more about what the narration's saying about him that makes the issue than anything else.
Yeah, and then the Fernando Blanco art, just the colors pop, the way that the shadings hit with all the lighting from the Green Lantern, which is something I always look at in a Green Lantern book, because sometimes when the colors are too like there's not enough shadow, they don't pop as much, and it gives it like a 90s quality. Here, everything felt really textured and vibrant. So, but that should be expected.
Blanco's. It's honestly, it's like the mom and sister like sitting on the stairs, like talking to each other. Is like when I'm most impressed with Blanco in some cases, just because he does that kind of like low key, just drama, talking art really well.
The mundane.
Yeah, not that he's bad at the other stuff. Although I will say, I don't know if I like the design of John Stewart's outfit and his like Green Lantern look in this. It's a bit.
That's what I said. It's very Steel-esque. Yeah. I don't know why they went with that.
But yeah, otherwise the art's good though. It's just not really a drawing problem. And then the backup, it's Hot Girl. She's finding a tomb in the jungle. And it's all about getting to this artifact that will effectively end her immortality and her reincarnation cycle, because she wants to give away the burden of remembering all these past lives and just wants to live in the now, rather than knowing that her destiny is just to be killed and then reincarnated again.
She says she's just a vessel, and she's tired of being just the vessel. She wants to be more. And I did like that. And Jeremy Adams is becoming one of my favorite writers that can do these little fill-ins, not even fill-ins, but like a backup one shot where he, impressed me with the Flash telling that Wally story the way that he did. And here with Kendra, just kind of summarizing her kind of history. And we get to that page where we see all the different versions of Hot Girl. And I thought that was a really cool way of setting this one out different than like, again, the Aquaman one, where it was just kind of like, what if he was happy? Like you said here, it's what does she want? And she wants to live now and not be just a vessel for reincarnation, which is nice.
Yeah, Jack Harpus on the art, and the art's actually pretty good, I thought. Like all the shadows of the tomb, and like the her coming in with a torch and seeing the people on the spikes and stuff. There's a nice inky quality to the art that I appreciate.
As an Indiana Jones fan, that the opening is definitely an homage to the opening of Raiders, right? With the two guys that she's like, oh yeah, they're gonna betray me. I know it, But yeah, and then she gets, she drinks from the what was it, the vase of mortality,
Yeah.
and these skeletons come to life, and I thought that was really fun. That was like a real fun
Yeah, it's
pulpy
very pulpy. It's just maybe
adventure.
it's cynically looking at it. It's like just so you can have a little action scene at the end before it
Yeah.
finishes, but it's fun enough. Then the last page, as she walks off happy, Pariah like comes out of the shadows and starts laughing maniacally.
Yeah. I mean, his plan is working. You give the heroes what they want, and they stay out of the way. But I'm still not 100% clear on his plan, on why he has to trap them on these worlds to create infinite, for the great darkness. I'm sure all will be revealed. But him laughing like a maniac like this was a fun touch.
Well, he's not doing that for the Great Darkness, though. He's doing that because he wants to rebuild a new multiverse. So these are
Right,
going to be his worlds.
right. But again, why Pariah's ultimate goal? I know he wants to bring his stuff back, right? But like him laughing like a maniac like this, that's definitely mad scientist vibes.
Oh,
So
sure.
it wouldn't surprise me if the Great Darkness is at play still. Almost like building them up, but just so they can be taken out. Give them the ultimate. But yeah, but no, this one was. I'm glad I picked this one up. Between both stories, I was dreading the hot girl one a little bit, but when it ended up becoming like this action adventure temple thing, I was like, oh, this is exactly my speed. And then when it had to say, because over the course of the last couple of years, I've really been drawn to the Hawks, and I feel that was Robert Venditti's fault in the Hawkman book that I love so much. But just revisiting those older series and the whole cycle of rebirth, and and the origin changes and all of that, this was a kind of a nice comment on the Hawk history.
All right, what are you giving World Without a Justice League Green Lantern?
Are we breaking it up, or just the whole book?
You can break it up, yeah.
All right, so the first story I'll give a 7.52, and the backstory I'll give a 7.2. Overall, I'll give it a 7.5.
Yeah, I think I'll just go 7 on both.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, straight 7
Yeah.
for me. The only thing I will say is that it's not really done anything to make me think that I'm going to want to read the rest of them necessarily. So case by case.
Yeah, it'll definitely be creative team driven. Like if we get another good creative team, I'll check it out.